really my story started in 2015 when my first son was born. I was a completely indoctrinated nurse. I believed everything I was taught, believed in childhood immunizations and all of it. When my first son was born in 2015, something I called like a divine intervention, I don't know, put it on my heart that I needed to look into what I was going to feed him, realizing that it was going to be the foundation that would support his development, every cell in his being, his mood, behavior, and everything. And I was kind of this cocky nurse. I was like, I work with kids, with babies. I already know what there is to what to feed food, but sure, I'll look into it. And that was my first door. I say, we all enter at different ways, and I entered through the corruption of food and all the lies we were told. And I became so passionate about this information because I thought, well, here I am, a nurse. I thought I did a nutrition course and I didn't learn any of this. So if I don't know this, how are parents going to receive this information? So I enrolled at the Canadian School of Natural Nutrition in 2016 to become a holistic nutritionist. And that's when all the light bulbs went off for me because I realized health is so simple. Why don't I learn this as a nurse? Why aren't I, teaching this as a nurse? Why aren't we learning how to be healthy? And then that's when it was, well, they don't want us to be healthy. They want us to be sick so we can be controlled. Fast forward to when my second son was born in 2018. That's when I knew that immunizations were wrong. We said no to all of them. At that point, I stopped my first son at 18 months. My second son, absolutely nothing. Started speaking out about this, was in trouble with my College of Nurses then in 2018, kind of wrapped up all the legalities in 2019. At that point, I wasn't ready to lose my license. So I said, sure, you're right, I'm wrong. Let's go on. I won't do it again. But I told them as I was leaving that meeting that if they ever mandate anything on my children, there's nothing that's going to stop me from speaking out. I just didn't think it was going to be so soon after. So then here we were in 2020. I knew it was a lie right from 2019 when they were talking about December in Wuhan, because they were talking about this flu and already knew, the flu viruses. It's not really a thing. So I started speaking out boldly, but really what I was trying to do was promote health and remove the fear, because all we were hearing from our health authorities was, don't do this, stay away from them, put on the mask, sanitize, like lock in your home, stay in your bubble, don't see anyone. And I wanted to give people tools to remove the fear of like, this is how you boost your immune system. This is how you can stay healthy. If you do get sick, this is things that you can do. I didn't realize by doing that, I was stepping into a whole, world of a dissenting voice that was going to be vilified and attacked. And so I organized a rally in my hometown, November of 2020. And that's when the media took hold of me. I was labeled this reckless, dangerous nurse putting premature babies in danger. And my reputation and character was destroyed. I was placed under investigation by my College of Nurses again, suspended indefinitely. And at this point, I found another nurse in Toronto speaking out. We got together. We met some American nurses speaking out, and we spoke in Washington, D.C. on a health and freedom stage in January 6th. Me being a naive Canadian, didn't realize what was going on with the political atmosphere of what January 6th is. So when we flew home, we were deemed domestic terrorists. We had the RCMP show up at our house to understand our involvement in the rioting and storming of the Capitol. I have 4 universities, nursing schools that I know of to this day that are still teaching what not to do. Don't do what Kristen Nagle did, which is storm and riot the Capitol. So at that point, we were immediately terminated with cause from our jobs. This is before the mandates came out. And we had a choice of, do we keep going? What do we do? We've lost everything at this point. And we formed Canadian Frontline Nurses, and we kept going. So that's kind of the big, long backstory, but it all has a place of how I got to where I am now.
So you unknowingly walked into the middle of a war, essentially.
Yes. Yes. And unknowingly, that's like the best way to put it.
So in 2018, you already were familiar with all of this, the fact that viruses are, let's say, not proven to be what they are.
Yes. Yes.
So you already knew this in 2018, and as it comes around and they're talking about the flu and blah, 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 you're ready to go.
Yes. Yeah, because I knew that the next thing they wanted to do was mandate injections on adults. I didn't know how they were going to do that. So when I saw them talking and stirring up this fear in Wuhan, I was like, oh, that's how they're going to bring this in on adults.
Mm-hmm. It was such an effective media campaign, propaganda campaign. It's incredible, really. Like this needs to be studied as a propaganda, event, because what it did to people and creating this mass psychosis is absolutely absurd. But